In 2001, in a small town, a young kid named Blake was searching for something to do on a rainy Saturday afternoon. His parents were busy with their own work and he had already finished his homework. His parents saved up recently and bought him a PlayStation 2, along with an unknown racing game to him, Gran Turismo 3, which he'd never played before. As he booted up the game on his brand new PlayStation 2, he had no idea how much his life was about to change. As soon as the game loaded, Blake was mesmerized by the stunning graphics and the roaring sound of engines. He quickly found his way to the car selection screen and chose the R33 Nissan Skyline. From the moment he started playing, he was hooked. The car was sleek, fast, and handled like a dream. He spent an entire day playing the game and even skipped dinner to keep playing. From that day on, Blake was obsessed with Gran Turismo 3, JDM car culture, and the R33 Skyline. He spent his free time playing the game, mastering different tracks, and unlocking new cars. He even started reading books about cars and racing, and watching videos of JDM professional drivers. The R33 Skyline became his favorite car, and he dreamed of one day owning in real life. All of this has culminated to today, the perfect dream car. Meet the R33 Nissan Skyline.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Drivemodenjoy. Today, we are introducing our 1993 Nissan Skyline GTST.
It's a Skyline!
It's a Skyline. Yay! We love this car. So I got this car about a year ago now, and it has been incredible. It's also been a little bit of a pain. Normal 30-year-old car things, I guess. Anyhow, the interior. So that's the point of this car, I guess, that's lacking. So the exterior has been repainted, it's been ceramic coated, fully corrected. The exterior looks just about flawless. But the interior has plenty left to be desired. So let's take a look. So some of my points of concern on the inside of this car are rather things that just bother me. You know, you've got the exposed shifter, there's no boot on there. This parking brake handle is all kinds of torn up. The boot is destroyed as well. Console lid, we'll look at that. And then one of the biggest issues with these older R chassis cars is the finish on the plastic wears away. I mean, you can take your fingernail and just do like this, and now it's under my fingernail. So we've already replaced the steering wheel with a Nardi. I love this wheel. Gray stitching, black leather, just like the boots that Rob found.
What about the vents?
The vents, yes. So you can see
They're all broken.
they're all broken. They're trash.
Every single one is broken.
These are getting replaced. I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace that shipped me an entire set. So I think the one on the passenger side is the only one that'll be salvageable. These I'm just throwing in the trash. I'm not even going to try and sell them or refinish them or anything like that. Do some cleaning on top of replacements. You see right here, the trim also needs to be repainted. The door cup on the other side is broken. We need to replace that. And then, so this vehicle actually has the original radio in it. The cubby is still there. The cassette deck is still there. It powers on. It does everything that it's supposed to do, but no Bluetooth, no CarPlay. That speaker is the only one that works. Show them the rear speaker.
All right, so yeah, there's no real speaker to there. The other one, yeah, these are they're a little blown, right?
Yeah, they're blown. So we've got replacement parts. So we'll start with removing trim. We're gonna sand the trim down. We've got some SEM trim black paint.
The best.
The best.
The best, and shout out Jimmy O, because I wouldn't have known about this trim paint if it wasn't for Jimmy O.
So, all new vent pods. That's to replace all of them. Passenger, driver, center. New door cup, which I think we're gonna paint these to match the rest of the
It
trim.
makes sense once they're out.
Makes sense, yeah. Got a new parking brake lever handle.
Who's that from?
This is from GK Tech. So GK Tech really has done a great job with replacement parts for these cars. So they've also got the shifter, the plate that bolts around the shifter assembly. So that's brand new. It's a real nice finish. It's an exact OEM fit. New hardware, that'll clean it up a little bit. Rear view mirror, and then I'm really excited about these boots. So Rob found someone that hand makes these. They have templates for different cars, and this is specific to the R33.
I think if you search custom shift boots, I think they're done by, I'll put the link in the description below where you can find these, but they're handmade and they're amazing.
So new shift boot, new handbrake boot.
And they match your steering wheel.
They match the steering wheel. That was the best part, is he knew that I bought a Nardi black leather with gray stitching, and they match. And then I might get flamed. I don't care. All I want is functionality. This is an Amazon purchase. It's a full CarPlay double DIN head unit. We've got the adapter harness and some Scar audio speakers to replace the ones that are blowing. So I guess we'll start with disassembly.
Yeah, we gotta start with disassembly.
Let's do it.
Now keep in mind, guys, we're gonna try to do this all in one video, but
It's a lot of work. It may go across a couple videos. We'll see.
it may. But this has been like the one point of contention with Blake, that like the outside is frankly fantastic. And with him spending most of the time in the interior, I think the interior needs to match the exterior, right? Am I right?
Agreed. You're absolutely correct.
So we're gonna get into it. Welcome the R33 to Drivemodenjoy, everyone. update number 1. I was able to successfully get this door panel off. Blake is figuring out that piece. How's it going?
Good. I've got it loose. I just have to get the electrical connectors on the backside out for the hazard switch, the clock, and the defrosters.
That's great. So, yeah. Just using normal screwdrivers, panel pullers, but there was a lot of, like, this was a little hidden. I didn't see that at first. And there's actually a screw deep in the top of that handle as well. So, making progress. Blake got the console out. Blake found something.
I don't know what this is.
Here, show it off. Show it off. Here, I'll hand you.
So this is, and I may just be dumb. I don't know what this is. It appears to be OEM. It's got like a vacuum tube or something that hooks up to it. And then, oh, I know what this is. It's the interior temperature sensor.
That's exactly what it is.
Because the car has automatic climate control. That is to read the temperature and set the climate to the settings matched on the HVAC unit. Okay, cool. All right, so that's all disconnected.
And you got out this in one piece, right?
This came out in one piece, no cracks, no breaks, no snaps and halves. And then next I'm gonna take out the radio and the cubby with the HVAC panel. Yeah, so the car's looking pretty taken apart, I guess, but we're gonna keep going.
That's the final piece, at least for the major dash section. That was kind of
It wasn't too bad, honestly.
door panels off too.
Door panels are off. I think the biggest issue is everything's just so old and brittle. All the connectors, all of the plastic.
They're really stuck on there.
We didn't break anything though.
No.
I'm surprised. So, yeah, next.
We have to take off that little center console piece where the shift knob is. And then I actually think we can start doing stuff.
Sanding and painting.
Sanding, painting, installing boots, changing out the radio, changing out the speakers. Except for the rear. The rear is going to be a nightmare.
That'll be okay.
Cool. I think we're on a good path here. All these pieces came out actually completely undamaged, and I am shocked, Blake.
I'm shocked, yeah.
I expected to break something.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we got all of this taken apart without breaking anything is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Blake.
Huh?
What in tarnation were you doing?
It's dusty. And the Milwaukee is fun to play with.
Fair. All right, so Blake actually got out the entire center console. Look at that airbag module. Wow, that's like 10 times the size they would be today. It's crazy. So yeah, all the pieces are out, including the console, but we have sub-assemblies to disassemble. We have to get the vents out of this, we have to get the buttons out of it so we can start to paint all these things, right?
Correct. So we're gonna paint door cups, we're gonna paint the dash bezel, we're going to paint...
There's a couple little things in the baggies that I already got.
The shifter surround. So we got a good handful of things to paint.
Yep. And then we gotta take care of this shift boot situation. Or sorry, e-brake boot situation. Because that is destroyed, my friend.
It's pretty bad.
That's really bad. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Alrighty, so Blake just took out one of the door speakers and...
Dude, Clarion.
Wow.
That's old.
That thing is shot. Is there a year? I mean, it's got to be 93, but...
I don't know.
That thing is roasted, toasted, and...
So these are 30 watt maximum.
What are your SCAR?
The SCARs are 100 watts continuous. So these are 15 watts continuous. These are 100 watt continuous.
That's crazy. That's going to be a huge difference for you. We love our music. We're not like bass heads or anything, but we need the jams.
Yeah. I mean, we do like metal.
We just need the jams, the jammies.
The jammies.
Okay, Blake, what's the next step realistically from here?
I think de-trimming the trim.
De-trimming the trim?
And sanding.
Should we bring that inside? On the new table we have inside?
Yeah.
That's probably the best bet, right? For floor space?
Do it.
All right, we're gonna bring this inside, y'all. All right, onto the table. So we have to take off all these buttons.
So we've got the clock, the hazard switch, the vents. I'm so thankful I was able to find those vents. It's such a good price. I think I paid, gosh, $100.
You're so lucky.
For all the vents. Some dude was selling in a R33 Facebook group. He had posted on Marketplace. He had like every interior component. I don't know if he was building a race car or what, but
jumped on it.
I jumped on it. I messaged him immediately. How much? Just tell me. He told me. I sent him the money, and I had him like 4 days later. Super happy. So we're gonna start de-trimming the trim piece. We're gonna start by turning the right direction.
Always handy.
Yeah. And we have been keeping all of our hardware at Rob's instruction. Very, very good tip for anybody doing this. Get Ziploc baggies, whatever, and write on them with a Sharpie marker, a permanent marker, where the screws go, and then
so you don't lose them.
And then put the screws in that bag.
So you don't lose them, you know where they went to, because if you end up with just a bag of screws after this, it is very difficult to know where they came from.
These have different pitches. Some of them are tapered, machine thread. Like there's like 5 different kinds of screws for the interior, so it's good not to get them mixed up. So there's our clock. I'm gonna clean this up real nice. I may take some compound to it, clean up the screen a little bit. And then here we've got hazard switch and defroster switch.
Are we keeping in the blank to paint? Might as well, right?
Good question. Should we take it out to paint it? So
we can.
That was easy.
Blank. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is coming to the part that I know about and Blake may not. These are not just held in there by screws.
Yeah, looks like they're some sort of rivet.
However,
However,
not a rivet.
Metal retaining clip on a plastic pin.
Correct.
Cool.
So it's these right here.
I think we're gonna leave those in.
Can't on the vents though.
The vents are held in with screws. Right?
They're held in with screws, huh? Held in with screws.
Oh, that's just a guide piece though, isn't it? Or is that part of the...
You tell me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, those will need to be pried off and then pushed back on.
Oh no, I broke the vent.
Did you really?
It's already broken.
Okay, fair. I was like, we've gone this far without breaking something. Can we continue to not break anything? You were right.
There's one.
It's just a retaining. I didn't realize it was open. I thought it was like closed around it. We can leave that.
As we said earlier, already falling apart. These are trash. Absolute garbage. There is no sense in trying to save these from what I can... No, it's broken. Okay.
All right, one last vent.
So that's trash.
Oh, and a couple more modules. I am really impressed, honestly, with this whole thing.
Yeah, it's going a lot smoother than I expected.
Same thing has one of those pins. I don't know about that one. Just gotta figure out which way it slides off, I guess. is that captive around it. Better to break this one than another one, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Is it slotted or no?
It is, however, I can't. Oh, I see what we need to do. This guy needs to come out first.
Oh, that little guy?
Yep. Mirror adjuster.
You never use your mirrors, so we don't need that, right?
Sure.
By the way, for any of you like DIYers, a good set of interior trim panel tools is just everything. All right, so mirror button out. He's just working on that final vent now.
It broke, but it was already broken, so.
Should be easy to go on though. New
Yeah.
one. So is that everything off there?
It appears so. Take a look from the front.
Here, go.
So,
show 'em around.
You can see how horrible this thing looks. The paint is
You can see
peeling
I mean,
off.
literally just a literally fingernail just does everything.
like, look right here.
It's almost sticky, right?
It's disgusting, yeah. So we're gonna sand this down and repaint it. Yeah.
Are we on that time? Is it sanding time? Or we need to get out the lighter, right?
Yep.
We need to get out the lighter. 3 years later.
3 years later.
All right. So tell us what's going on, Blake.
Trying to get the 12-volt socket out, the cigarette lighter. And I think I've got it lined up correctly to pop out, but I don't know. I've never taken one of these apart before.
It's been a pain so far. At least that everything else has gone really smooth. That cigarette lighter has just been
Pain in the butt. Somewhere somebody knows how to do this and they're watching this right now going, haha, stupids. I don't know. Rob got it. Twist was the key on this one. We were pushing and pulling.
move the metal piece, not the plastic piece, until it snaps, then push out the metal piece.
And we're left with this. So now we can sand this and get it ready to paint. Great job, Rob.
Time to paint and sand, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, gonna give you guys an update. I don't know if you can see my hands. Blake, how we doing over here?
Sanding away. We've been sanding for...
I think this is the last, about an hour.
Yeah, about an hour.
I think this is the last piece we have to score down.
This is the last piece, but it's also the biggest.
It's also the biggest. So we did a lot of these other pieces. Obviously, you guys can see. This one had a crack in it before we even touched it. So I hit it with some actual plastic glue. And it'll hide it a little bit. It's probably still going to be there, but at least it's going to be together and shouldn't worry about that.
It'll sand out well enough.
It'll sand out really well, and that's the key. So we did whatever Blake's working on now, and then we did the vents, these cups. We did another big piece, which...
the shifter bezel is over there by the...
Shifter bezel, you're the one. By the 3D printer. I don't see it.
Oh, it's on the shelf, maybe. Oh yeah, there it is. Up top by the test pipe.
Oh, there it is. Wait, is that it? No. Test pipe, test pipe. There it is. Yeah, so this one's ready to go. So we're at a point where Blake just needs to finish this one. We weren't gonna prime these, but we're gonna prime them. Just because the plastic just seems bad, huh, Blake?
It's rough, like really worn out.
So we're gonna prime these. We're gonna clean them really well, degrease them. We're gonna take a lunch break because
we like to eat.
Also for context, we also did the roof rack yesterday, which took all day. So that was the last video y'all saw. So we're excited, doing good. Also patched the tire. So by now you should see a YouTube short on how to patch a motorcycle tire, which is really cool. So
not cool when it went flat at
60 miles an hour on the highway.
exactly 60 miles per hour. Yeah, that's how fast I was going.
Scary.
Horrifying, yeah. It pulled me across 2 lanes.
That's so scary. So check out that YouTube short. It should be out now. But we are almost at it with the refinishing. Now, obviously we need to let the paint dry for at least 24 hours. So we're not going to reassemble this for probably a few days.
I think probably next weekend.
Yeah. But the good thing is we can still do the speakers, we can do the speaker wiring, and the shift boot stuff. That's the important part, which I'm really excited for.
Oh yeah, me too.
So, keeping you updated here. We just got to do more sanding, and then we'll get to painting soon after lunch.
Okay, so we stacked a bunch of cardboard boxes up back here to use as a painting area. You can see we've got these primed. It actually looks really nice once it's primed. Door cup, vent cover, blank cap, more door cups, ashtray. And then we've got this guy over here.
This is the one that's...
This one's a little tough. We may have to sand this one again. You can see in the shiny spots that there's some texture to it. This was really difficult to sand and I don't think I did well enough, so we'll probably go back over that with Scotch-Brite.
Yeah.
Deep scratches out. But we'll see how it turns out. Looking good.
Absolutely. All right, so coming into round 2, we actually resanded this entire piece. It should be ready for some primer. One piece had a little run that Blake took out, but I'd say the rest was looking good, right?
Yeah, I think everything else looks good to spray. So we've got, as showed earlier, this SEM trim black. This matches the Skyline interior well. Again, shout out Jimmy O.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna get right in it, I guess.
Time for a spray painting montage. Montage! All right. Sun's going down, but time for some SEM black. I think it's SEM. Could be SEM. Ooh. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it dries. We'll have to see.
It's supposed to have kind of a texture to it?
A little bit, yep. We'll see. It's when it dries that it really goes out. Not feeling yet? We'll see.
Okay, so everything's sprayed. We're gonna have to wet sand a few of the pieces.
Yeah, just a couple. This has been a learning curve. We've never used this paint before. Yeah. It really likes really light coats.
Light coats. It says what, 4 to 5 coats?
Yeah, and
5 minutes.
5 minutes in between. Yeah.
So we're about to put the first coat on the big dash bezel. I'm excited about this.
Go for it. Really light. Almost like a mist coat, you know what I mean?
Cool. Give it 5 minutes.
Give it 5 minutes. Coat 2?
Yeah, coat 2.
It's already leveling out so nice. You guys don't realize how messed up this was before.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was
horrible.
It was bad.
I'm a little concerned about this spot right here.
That might need a little wet sand. We'll have to see.
I just laid it on a little heavier.
Get this indention right above the... You'll notice my hand's completely black. I've been helping paint. There you go. Super nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wet sand that.
That's okay.
Other than that, this thing looks great. So we'll do a wet sand and then one more coat after the wet sand. But I think this is gonna need at least one more coat before we get to that point.
I agree.
I think. Cool.
Nice. How did this piece turn out?
I think honestly, this is the one that looked the best out of everything.
Well, that's the one we did the lightest coats on. Is it?
Dude, come into the light.
Oh, wow.
One little spot right here. I may wet sand it, but
it looks so good.
It is the slightest of imperfections. I can count maybe 3 or 4 little spots, but honestly, I think I'm happy with this. I think we're gonna move it to the drying rack.
Okay, drying rack. Yeah. All right, y'all. This has been a day. I probably look like all sorts of things have been happening here. Yeah, is it bad?
You don't look bad.
But you know what? We have had a successful day.
Successful weekend.
So yeah, so we did the trail racks this weekend.
Yeah.
We disassembled the entire Skyline.
The whole interior got disassembled.
Spent 3 hours sanding.
Plugged a tire on my motorcycle.
Yep.
And I think we're gonna wrap it up with taking out the trash, some good food, and some video games.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Obviously, it's gonna be 5 minutes or a second for you guys for day 2, but we'll see you guys on day 2.
Next on Drivemodenjoy.